Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to the Team GB pre-competition press conference with the women's triathlon squad. We'll compete here at Hyde Park on Saturday morning beginning at 9 AM. Quick bit of housekeeping. We're going to have the press conference in here with request all print media to ask their questions in this format. Before we will then move out onto the decking behind us for broadcast one-to-ones, and we'll finish with a photo call at 12 o'clock. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce the members of the top table. Starting immediately to my right is Vicky Holland, who's making her Olympic debut here in London, following a really impressive season, placing 5th and 7th in San Diego and Madrid respectively. Welcome, Vicky. To Vicky's right is Helen Jenkins, the reigning World Triathlon Series champion, who's competing in her second Olympic Games, having made her debut 4 years ago in Beijing. To Helen's right is Malcolm Brown, who's the Olympic Performance Manager for British Triathlon. Lucy Hall, you will notice, is invisible at the moment. She's just doing her anti-doping commitment and is hopefully going to be joining us very shortly. So she is across in Hyde Park and hopefully will be joining us very shortly. So if you could, there is a microphone, if you could just raise your hand if you have a question and introduce yourself to the athletes. First question, please. John.
John Body, Sunday Times. Helen, can you run through what you've done all this week in preparation, and also what you'll be eating and how you'll be preparing on Saturday morning?
This week it's been fantastic to actually be at home. I actually just travelled in yesterday. So Monday was a normal day of training. Tuesday, normal day of training. Wednesday, my travel day, I have as a rest day, so that was yesterday. Today we were out on the course. We got to ride the full bike course this morning, which was great to get a good feel for the course. Yeah, we've been doing all our media commitments now, and we've been doing picking up all our race stuff. Just getting ready tomorrow. Pretty much a little bit of training, maybe kind of an hour total, and then Saturday morning we'll be racing at 9. So normally I get up at probably get up at 5 on Saturday morning. I'll try and eat 3 hours before the race, and normally something plain bagels, jam, and then something sweet as well, like a muffin or a cookie. I've got to have something just to get the calories in race morning.
Yeah.
Hi, Liz from 220 Triathlon magazine. Can you just talk us through the training that you've recently done together as a team, actually, with Lucy as well in Bridgend?
Helen and Vicky.
We spent quite a bit of time training together in Bridgend, where I live. It's probably not the most idyllic of locations to be out training. The boys' team were in St Moritz, so there's a big difference. But it really worked for us. It was really good to do some. We all train individually and all have faith in our coaches that we're going to prepare the best individually. But having that time together, just to get to know how the other athletes are, just to do some specific bike training together, I think was really positive for all of us.
Yeah, I'd just reiterate what Helen said, that we do have individual coaches, and we don't often get the opportunity to train together, so it was a good chance for us to get to know each other a little bit better and to see how we can work together as a team. And it was nice to have a new environment, and Helen's environment in Bridgend was very welcoming to us, so that was a great place to be for those 10 days. And I think we came out of it feeling more united as a team and stronger in our purpose of what we're going to do.
Yeah, in front, please.
Kari Lundgren from Bloomberg. Question for both of you. You've seen your competitors this morning, maybe a little bit biking yesterday. Give us what do you feel about the competition, and what's the ideal race case scenario for you guys on Saturday?
So one of the beautiful things about triathlon is you can never really be sure who's going to do what on what day. So you've got to be prepared for pretty much anything and anybody to come out of the woodwork and have a really impressive performance. And it's always been said that the winners at the triathlon at the Olympics have never necessarily been the favourites, and particularly in the male event that's true. And I think there's only probably ever been one favourite who's won. So many of the girls are looking in great shape, as you would expect. This is the pinnacle of the sport, so not necessarily one person to watch, probably everybody. It won't affect what we do on the day. We've got our own plan of what we want to do, and it would be remiss to go into that in too much detail. But let's just say that we want to go hard.
Yeah, again, same as what Vicky said. It's always interesting to see your competitors like at the race briefing, and it can make you really nervous if you're looking at them too much. But you know, we're used to doing this. We see everyone at every race, so I think we're all just focused. Me, Vicky, and Lucy, we're just focused on what we're doing because that's what we can control, and we spend a lot of time together. And I think it helps just to be kind of with comfortable, familiar people. And yeah, the race, yeah, we want it to be hard in all three disciplines if possible.
Paul from Triathlon Europe magazine. How much team tactics going to come into this? Are you going to race it as a team, or are you kind of racing it more as individuals in this one?
Well, the aim for British Triathlon is to win a medal, and I think the three of us working together, we're more likely to try and, you know, that's our aim, just to try and win a medal. We've got three of us committed to that, and you know, we can't go into any kind of specific tactics we're going to use, but the three of us are a team, and we'll be approaching the race as a team.
Malcolm, would you like to add anything?
I think British Triathlon have, you know, had a number of Olympic experiences where they did not work as a team, and the results of those haven't always been great. So we'll see what happens on Saturday morning, but it seems a logical development of British Triathlon strategy in order to try to get a medal is to move to this sort of approach.
Thanks, Matt. Next question. Ellie.
Olympic Press Association. How much of the Olympics have you been able to watch, and how have you felt the atmosphere since you've arrived in London?
I've been lucky. I've been able to, because we've been at home, it's been pretty easy to watch a lot of the games. It's hard. There's been so much sport on TV. You have to kind of set times to go out training and not kind of get sucked into watching sport. But so yeah, it's great. It really motivates you. To, you know, just watching the people race, the athletes racing, and how much support they're having, it's really exciting to see that. And I think because we're on a Saturday, we're a free event to watch. I think we're just going to have to make the most of that kind of support.
So I've been based in Switzerland until yesterday when I flew in. So I've been able to watch a fair bit of the sport, but it's all with German commentary. My German's not so good. So it's been amazing to still watch it and to be able to feel what's going on there. And there has been a lot said about the atmosphere that I've picked up from comments online. But to actually be here now and to really to start absorbing it is so much better. And it's phenomenal. Everyone has come back and said how amazing the support is from every event that they've been to and that they've witnessed. And that is something that I'm really looking forward to at our event, especially as Helen said, with it being a free-to-view event with large parts of the course, there's a real potential for so much support there that it's going to be potentially overwhelming, but hopefully very exciting at the same time.
Just one in the third row and then one at the back.
Tom Bauer from Triathlon Plus. With this being a home Olympics and obviously the British team being so strong and favourites, does that put an extra level of pressure on you? And how does that compare to sort of World Championship finals? And also, what do you think it could do for the sport potentially if Britain do gain some medals?
I think there is probably a bit more pressure because, like you said, home Olympics, a very strong team, but you know, we're professional athletes and we have to learn to deal with that pressure. And I also enjoy it too, that you know, it's great that we've got the pressure. It means that there's definitely potential of us getting medals. So I'm just trying to enjoy the whole experience and just really look forward to racing. And like any other race, I think that, you know, we're racers, we like to get out there and race, so let's try and enjoy the Olympic experience.
Hi there. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I was going to reiterate exactly.
Fire away.
Sorry. From CTV in Canada. I just want to get back to the team tactics thing that you alluded to a little bit ago. For those of us who are relative novices to the sport, and that would be about 90% of the people watching on TV, is the team approach a relatively new tactic in triathlon, or has it been around for a while, or is this something that's sort of becoming the thing to do in the last year, 18 months?
I would say that we're not the first to approach it this way, and I'm sure we won't be the last. And with the potential for a medal outcome here, I'm going to assume that it may become more popular approach. Canadians used it themselves 4 years ago and came away with a medal in Simon Whitfield. So it's not brand new. It's not often used. It's harder to implement it the way that our racing circuit works. So there are limited opportunities for this kind of approach, and the Olympic Games is one of them. So that's possibly why it's not seen so widely on the circuit.
Thank you. Next question. Yeah.
So I'll go down the microphone.
It's coming.
Thanks.
Vicky, you said you just come back from Switzerland, and my understanding is that your training group is unique, is an overused word, but your training group really is unique.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'd like to tell us, Julia.
For sure. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, my coach is actually an Australian. He's called Darren Smith, and he hosts a training group, if you like, where essentially we only really have one athlete from any country, in a male or female. He's had much more success with females, so currently he has 5 females all on the start line this weekend. We're all from different nations, so we've got the UK, we've got South Africa, America, the States I should say, Germany and Sweden all covered. He's had phenomenal success with every one of us really, and every one of us goes into the race sort of in great shape and as well. So it's a unique environment. We travel around the world, spending our time in Australia, Canberra, and also in Davos in Switzerland. But for this weekend, Darren himself will be Switzerland, as he calls himself. He'll be neutral, so he has no accreditation because for this event it would potentially cause a rift. So no, it is a unique environment, but it's been a fantastic experience for me to be part of that. Very multicultural and great friendships made.
Thanks, Vicky. Just a reminder to introduce yourself.
John Lewison from Triathlon 24/7. Question for Helen. Everyone talks about home pressure and being the favourite or one of the favourites, but I was wondering whether so far the Olympics is actually easier in terms of that than it was in Beijing, because you've had the ability to be at home where you're comfortable, you're in a country where you're comfortable, you're on a course that you know and have won, and food and everything else is familiar. So I just wondered if you could just sort of compare Beijing versus London so far.
Very, very different situations. I think in Beijing I was a pretty young athlete and just so pleased to have even made the games. I don't think it was just about being there and being an athlete, whereas coming into London 2012, it's all I've been thinking about for probably the last 3 years, my main focus, and it's been about getting a medal, getting a medal, that kind of. So it is very different, and I've become a more experienced athlete over the last few years and learned how to deal with, I guess, pressure races and just generally improving. Each race you do, you gain experience. But I think being in London, it feels like home. We've raced here so many times. You get down there, I mean, the venue does look different. The venue looks amazing. We went down there this morning on the bike and it's, wow, this just looks incredible. But we know it, we know where everything is, we know the course, and I think that really does help and makes me feel a bit more relaxed going into the race. And yeah, overall it's just a bit of an easier experience than Beijing.
Helen, how important is it to know that this is a course that you've won over already?
It gives me great confidence to know that I've won on this course. Also, winning earlier on this year in San Diego, it's over the past few years I've had a lot of maybe seconds and thirds, but to step on top of the podium over the last couple of years has really given me the confidence to know that if I get it right on the day, if everything plays into my hands, that I can win. But in the end, you just have to do your best and hope that that's going to be enough. But I've got so much support, and I think it's really carried me forward over these last few weeks, and I really just want to go out there, do my best, and hopefully that'll be good enough for a medal, just to thank all the people that have supported me along the way.
Thank you. Any further questions? John.
John, everybody, Sunday Times. Can we talk about the weather, which is always a great problem in a lot of sports, and triathlon is no exception. Can you talk about what you would like to have as far as weather is concerned, both of you?
Snow. No, I think.
You might manage that.
I think we can't really predict what's going to happen, and that's one of the beautiful things about the UK is that you're not guaranteed to have sunshine in the summer, and so we have to be prepared for whatever the weather throws at us on that day. Triathlon is traditionally a summer sport. However, over the past few years, we have raced in increasing frequencies in bad weather. I think everybody in the race will be prepared that that might happen on a day, and we may end up with rain, we may end up with, you know, colder temperatures. For myself personally, I don't mind if it rains. It's not. I don't think it would faze myself, Helen or Lucy. I think all of us are prepared for that. I think that's something that maybe we do have a bit of home advantage there, being Brits. Some of the athletes from warmer climes might not like the colder weather, but you know, it doesn't really bother me. Equally, if it's a sunny day, I think, you know, well, the crowds will like it more, so maybe there'll be more people there. So no, I don't think it will matter really what the weather is.
If it rains, it'll be good. We did all of our training in Bridgend in the rain, so it would probably be a good thing for us. Ideally, I think one of the things for us, it would be great if it was a non-wetsuit swim, and so for that the water has to be above 20 degrees, so currently it's at 19.8, so if it warms up a bit over the next couple of days, that would, it just plays into the hands of the stronger swimmers, so that's one thing that I think we would hope for, but like Vicky said, we're prepared that it could be any conditions, and I think we've known that for a long time. London weather is unpredictable.
Okay, we've got time for a final question, if there is one. Otherwise, we'll call it there.
Very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Helen, I was reading that you love running to music. What's your Olympic track?
Bruce Springsteen. I went to see him in LA, so I've been listening to his new album, Running. Probably should be something cooler, but I like Bruce.
Great, well, thank you very much. That concludes the press conference. If I could ask broadcasters to exit the room through that door and then just come around the back here and set up on the decking. That's where the one-to-one interviews will take place.